Yes, Millicent. I'm fine.
I'm so happy to see you.
It is great.
You know, we were just seeing you back there in Geneva, looking all so good.
It was a serious meeting.
It was a serious meeting?
Yeah, you can even see I'm even changing.
Oh, your skin color.
My color's changed. Yeah.
Wow, thank you
because
so
there
much.
everything is serious.
Uh-huh.
The water you drink,
Uh-huh.
the breakfast you take,
Uh-huh.
even the quality of shower you take. Yeah, it's
Wow.
serious. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
Welcome.
Asante.
Yes.
Wow. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Impact. My name is Millicent AROKA. Welcome to AROKA Media. And today I'm actually delighted to be here with the Secretary General of Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, that's Kuppet. His name is Akelo Misori. I'm here for many reasons. Top of the fact that he was out there, he went to Geneva in Switzerland, and here to find out what was happening in that country. So, karibu sana to the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You are welcome to our office. It is interesting to be back home.
Yeah, I actually wanted to get you from the airport, but I missed that.
No, we were arriving very early in the morning, and Kenyans and the traffic jam, you could not have caught up with me.
Yes.
So it was, we arrived at around 5:30 a.m. in the morning.
That was very early.
Therefore, arriving home when we were very fatigued after 50 minutes ride on Boeing Kenya Airways from Amsterdam.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, you were attending the 110th International Labour Conference.
Yes.
In Geneva. And I just want you to, brief us, what was the agenda of this conference?
This is an annual event of the International Labour Organization, which is coming almost every year. And this particular time, we, for the first time, from the advent of the COVID-19, this was the first session where all the workers' representatives, the employers and the government tripartite partners were meeting face to face after that long stretch of time.
Yeah.
So it was quite a very rigorous period for 2 weeks. We were there and sitting from 8 a.m. up to 5. And that was quite taxing. The agenda of the meeting included, among other things, talking about quality of apprenticeship. And then
I saw a lot of application of standards.
I was, of course, a member of the committee on the application of standards.
Yes.
And one of the issues which were being canvassed here are issues related to decent work and safety and security at the place of work, and more importantly, the fundamental violations among nations which have ratified conventions about organizing. The issue of migrant workers who are given less protection in their countries. This one took center stage in the committee on the application of standards.
Okay.
Yes.
Was there a particular case, a case study, let me say, that, took your attention, maybe from the other countries that you felt, these people are
significant reports were basically on the committee of experts reports on issues related to countries which have been double-footed. So the committee of experts visited quite a number of countries, especially on the issue of security and sexual harassment at place of work. The case of Malawi, the case of Zimbabwe, the case of Belarus, and also the issue of which relates to our trade, is the status of teachers, which were in contravention of Convention 66 of the ILO Convention, which affected two major countries, Argentina and Japan. These ones were very, very important cases. But of great note was the issue about Malawi and the sexual harassment at the place of work in the tea plantations of Malawi, where a matter had been reported in a foreign country in the UK by interested organizations.
The NGOs in that country.
And they really put on focus the the weaknesses of the institutions of Malawi. The Malawi government came and put a very strong case. I felt that they put a very strong case, but still they were found at fault, that they must revise they must strengthen their institutional structures so that the workers can be safe.
Yes. What I'm loving about this is actually that it's teaching us that there are certain things that when we go through and probably the country is not handling it so well, then you can find a way of redressing even out of the country. Is that
yes, that is the reason for which International Labour Conference meets. It meets as a tripartite engagement where the employers, both from private and public, and the workers' organization also meet, and governments. It is always a social dialogue platform. And in fact, the countries whose cases were being handled at the committee of the application of standards are countries which have been known for violations, or they have been reported to have violated certain rights, fundamental rights. This is where I think Kenya has really scored. I must appreciate our country that with the constitution that we have and with the conventions that we have ratified, Kenya has really given a lot of leverage with the constitutional provision of Article 41 of the Constitution, that workers have the freedom to form, join, and participate.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
In the activities of a trade union. And even employers' organizations also have the same provision in the same article. So this one is at least something which we must be proud of. Kenya has also ratified Convention 87 of freedom of association. So we are not at risk so far. We may be having some small issues related to how we have been going through all these processes, but I think Kenya is above so many, even the so-called developed world.
Okay. Looking at the fact that there are certain things that happened, and we'll take the example of Malawi, where things could not go right until they had to get out of the country to seek redress. And I wanted you to bring this home as to how the presence of unions now makes it better, especially for Kenyans when they have any issues, to be able to address them through the unions. Could you just address that?
It is very, very important to note that when you have the unions and you have a labor center like Kenya, Central Organization of Trade Union, Kenya, KOTU, where workers or organizations like Kuppet, for example, is a member. Whenever there are violations or whenever we have got conflict areas, we can easily report and we canvass. There is the issue of reporting a dispute before the Labor Ministry or the cabinet, before the cabinet secretary. Therefore, there is room for redress. There is also Kenya Federation of Employers. This is forming a very serious tripartite in the arrangement of a social dialogue platform. That the employer, the government, and the unions, which are workers' organizations, can come together to canvass issues on one platform. In fact, as we went to Geneva, we went as Kenyan delegation. So that's the beauty of this thing.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, while you were away, let me just bring you up to speed on a few things that have happened. You know that currently there are no timelines for the reviewing of pay for civil servants, whether it's teachers, lecturers, and doctors. But now the Salaries and Remuneration Commission proposes an automatic review every 4 years in a regulation that is now tabled before Parliament. What's your thought about this?
In fact, what the Salaries and Remuneration Commission is trying to sneak through regulation or legislation is doing so through the back door. And we have already expressed our opinion about this, that it is not proper to have salary cycles take 4 years. Because within 4 years, so many things have happened. We have got inflation which have recurred over the period. So if you peg the negotiations of salaries to take 4 years cycle, it means that the workers will definitely suffer.
Does it
The
matter?
Salaries and Remuneration Commission, I understand, proposed this and they presented before the parliament, but I think it was deferred. This is something which we will definitely oppose because it is against all conventions. It is also against all the established practices everywhere. That inflation, something which comes, the one which usually takes 2 years, is something which can be waited for. Especially now, like currently, you realize the challenges we have are related to the impact of the war in Ukraine, bringing a lot of challenges on the skyrocketing of fuel prices, increasing prices of food commodities of all sorts. If this one is allowed to take 4 years, then you can see how workers or employers or employees will be disadvantaged. Look at even how we lost jobs during COVID. In some sectors, the people
within a year, so much had happened.
So we must stand against all this.
Okay. Talk to us about the preparedness to implement CBC at the junior secondary level. What are the challenges?
The challenges,
the major challenges.
The major challenges in the junior secondary preparedness arise from the fact that we will be having 2 sets of students joining secondary education. And this is going to be a challenge because the number of teachers we have in schools are not enough to address even the current challenges. So that is the one major one. The other one is the element of facilities. So far, the cabinet secretary has, through the government allotment, has only constructed classrooms to some needy schools. That one does not address the deep, the main issue related to facilities in schools. Like the junior secondary will require more additional laboratories and workshops. So these are the major challenges. Another thing is that we are coming from COVID, and therefore with the number of children in school, less teachers in school, and with those few facilities, we will not have it easy. So we will have to deal with very, very difficult circumstances in addressing the issues at that initial stage.
Wow.
Another issue is the fact that as they move into junior secondary, we also anticipate that they will be moving to senior secondary. It would be a very, very complex thing if we don't deal with the teaching issue here.
Do you believe that the private schools that will be allowed to do this as well, to be part of this transition?
In fact, you remember that private schools currently, as it obtains, are mainly in primary.
Yes.
We have got very few established private secondary schools. And therefore, with this current 100% transition from primary to junior secondary, we must socialize our people to expand. Those who are having business interest to expand junior secondary.
To accommodate
the number which is coming. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for always finding time for us.
Great.
Asante sana. Now you have been watching Impact. My name is Melissa AROKA, and this is AROKA Media, where we always bring you impactful stories. I have been having a conversation with the Secretary General of Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, Akelo Misori, who's just been filling us in on what happened at the ILO conference that was in Geneva. And of course, go on, like, subscribe, and share. Give us a comment on this interview.